Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we want to talk about YieldMax ETFs and their most recent distribution announcement for their Group D funds as well as their weekly payers. So you can see this is the press release they came out with a little bit earlier this morning. So let's go ahead and look at the numbers. So SMCY, $2.09. Pretty impressed with that. Obviously SMCY, the underlying fund, or the underlying stock that it's targeting rather, has had a lot of volatility recently. So that probably explains why their distribution for this month is so high. Followed by MSTY, definitely another very popular YieldMax fund out there targeting micro strategy, or I guess it's called a strategy now. But another solid month, $2.02. SQY, 58 cents. LFGY, that is their crypto basket of stocks that they're going to be selling premium on every single week. So that's a pretty cool newer fund that just came out a couple weeks ago. AMZY, obviously Amazon based, 54 cents. DISO, 45 cents. AIYY, 37 cents. APLY, 36 cents. GPTY, 29 cents. YQQQ, 24.98. And then there are two other weekly pairs as well, YMAX and YMAG, both coming in at 15 cents for YMAX and 5 cents for YMAG. So let's see what people are saying. Knuckleball Craig, he seems to be pretty pumped about it. Not just about considering MSTY trading flat, but that 5 cents kind of makes him mad. Yep. So not a lot of people are pretty happy about that YMAX position. SCTY, yeah, so that's a new fund that they just recently came out with. It's going to be giving Roundhill a run for their money, specifically their XDTE fund. So definitely keep an eye out for that. $2, cha-ching. Yeah, brutal. People aren't pretty happy with YMAG. Seems like they're pretty happy with MSTY. Cha-ching. Yeah, that's funny. This guy. So please take out the crappy stuff like MRNY out of YMAX, or I'll be selling off all of my YMAX and moving it to Roundhill. Yeah, so YMAX is a basket of their own ETFs. So that's what this guy's talking about here. He's saying take out the crap, or he's going to be moving to Roundhill. I'll take that. Take crappy funds out of YMAX, please. Yep, that's funny. Yeah, good stuff there, though. So yeah, let's go to the website real quick. I'll show you the schedule specifically for YieldMax ETFs, and then we can kind of go from there. So you'll go to their website. As you can see, this is their website. One of their funds that they definitely talk about a lot is Tesla. Unfortunately, it's been getting smacked this year. Tesla is down quite a lot, as well as OARC. That's another fund that is one of their OGs. But we want to look at the distribution schedule specifically, so you guys can kind of get a better idea of how these funds work. So, we're going to be looking at the weekly pairs and the group funds. So this week, today is February 12th. It is a Wednesday. So every Wednesday, they're going to be declaring their dividends. The Thursday following, that will be the actual X date, right? So pretty much you have to own the shares before this date. So you have to purchase them on the 12th, and you have to hold them through that day in order to get the dividend coming up on the Friday afterwards. So that's kind of their schedule. Declaration date is Wednesday, X date is Thursday, and then you'll get paid every Friday. And as you can see, it's every single week. So they've structured their basket of funds as far as group funds go, where you'll get paid every single week if you buy. All you have to do is buy one stock from each of their funds. Definitely not telling you to do that. Do your own research. Make sure this type of ETF makes sense for you and what you're trying to accomplish with investing. But there are opportunities out there where you can pretty much create a weekly income stream from these ETFs. And then lastly, these group funds are right here: MSTY, YQQQ, AMZY, APLY, AIYY, DISO, SQY, and SMCY. Those were the ones we just talked about from
the
this
options
tweet
against
over
it.
here.
So that's that. Let's go over to the spreadsheet now. I kind of want to talk about some of the data I have compiled in this spreadsheet and just kind of help provide some value as far as that goes. So these are the weekly pairs that we just talked about. Do keep in mind LFGY, its inception date was the 14th of January, so not a full year of data. There's a couple days in there. And then this one, GPTY, it didn't start until it was actually 122, wasn't it? Yeah, January 22nd, so a week after LFGY. So just kind of keep that in mind. But as you can see with these funds, there's NAV erosion, right? This column right here is just solely the price return of these funds. So if you go out to Google and look up APLY, you'll see it's down to 5.84% year to date. So let's just kind of confirm that here. APLY ETF, 5.84% year to date from a price return perspective. And you can see that matches, this column right here, right? So this is price return. This is price return plus dividends. So you can see if you account for the distributions that they've paid so far year to date, only 28 cents, they're actually only down 0.51%. So just kind of keep that in mind. And this is how, total return is calculated. I just, add the price return plus the distribution amount, and then that kind of adds that data there. So the ones that are leading, it looks like YMAX is up 6.41% year to date. Hopefully I did the data right on that. I may not have. Yeah, it does not look like it. I did actually calculate that correctly. So we want to do the current price. Why am I doing the 14th of January in all of these? Let's actually go back to, so LFGY should be the only one that's the 14th of January. This one should be, though, the 1st. Yep. Okay. Apologies, guys. Let me fix this real quick. Some of my formulas got mixed up. Yeah, so it's only at 1.85%. I thought that was pretty wild for it to be up that high this far year to date. Now GPTY, that one, the inception date was the 22nd, so we have to set that at that. But all these other ones, they've been on the market for a little bit. So let's drag this down. Fortunately, it's going to pull back some of these. Okay. There we go. So fix the data there. So the leaders year to date, LFGY and GPTY, they're newer funds, so they're only, a couple weeks of data. But as far as YMAX and YMAG go, looks like YMAX is leading the way at 1.85%. As far as the Group D funds, MSTY's having a pretty good year, up 5.3%. SMCY, surprisingly, is up 12.42%. That's one I'm going to have to circle back to for sure. AMZY, another one I like, is up 5.65%. Having a pretty solid year so far. DISO's in the red, Square's in the red, even accounting for the distribution. AIYY's in the red, pretty big there, down 8%. APLY down 4.23%. And YQQQ is down 2.41%. So the triple Q, I'm pretty sure that I want to jump back to here. I want to clarify. I'm pretty sure that's just let's see if we can find it. Triple Q, I think that's just the inverse. YQQQ, where are you at? Sorry for my typing there, Oracle. I have a mechanical keyboard. Need to fix that. Yeah, so it's targeting the NASDAQ. I think it's just the inverse of the NASDAQ. Don't quote me on this for sure, but looks like they got some bonds. Yeah, I'll have to do some more research on that. I'll come back to that. But yeah, that's the YQQQ. Needless to say, it's down 2.41%. So do with that as you will. Next column over here is the distributions, right? So this is how much they've paid out year to date in dividends. So the highest one looks like LFGY, but it's kind of it's a tough illustration, right? And projected yield is probably going to be a little bit better. $2.04, but it started at $50 a share, whereas most of these started at $25 a share. So just kind of keep that in mind there. But yeah, that's the year-to-date column as far as distributions. So the 11th, let's scroll over a little bit here. Let's see if we can. Yeah, no, let's see. Can you guys still see this? Let me just hide these columns. Okay, so you guys can see it a little bit better now. So what I did, YieldMax used to provide this data, right? So they used to tell you, based upon the distribution amount, how much yield they're potentially paying. So these are the distribution amounts from their most recent post here. But what I did was, so for these weekly pairs, I pretty much just divided, the price close of yesterday by the distribution announcement, and then multiplied it by 52, and then I multiplied these by 13 because someone was telling me I needed to do 13 instead of 12, and then 52 might not be right either. So someone let me know if that should be 53 or 50. There's 52 weeks in a year, but just someone kind of fact check me on that. That would be great. But with that being said, of the weekly pairs, LFGY looks to be, the highest yielding one so far year to date. It's projecting a yield of 61% annualized if they're able to continually pay this amount. Obviously, numbers change every single month, but that's kind of the numbers we have so far based upon their most recent distribution amount and then their price of close yesterday. MSTY coming in at 99.85%. People will be pretty happy about that. Square 45%. SMCY 101%. So it looks like they won this week for the highest projected yield. And that's because, go look at the IV on SMCY. It is through the roof right now. I haven't been following the stock, but I've been hearing people talk about it, and it's pretty crazy. So yeah, do with that as you will. So we got SMCY followed by MSTY. What do we got next? AIYY. And then pretty tight between Amazon, Disney, and Square there. Followed by APLY and YQQQ. So, yeah. Do with all this data as you will. Let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know if you guys would like access to this data, or, if providing this data was helpful to you. Like we've talked about before, like some things I'm really focusing on, and, besides the yield, I want this total return to be the highest possible. And that's what I'm truly targeting, right? Like, I'm not using this income right now. So that's what I'm trying to focus more on. Now, my mindset might change, my strategy might change at any point, really. I feel like that happens a lot, but as of right now, I'm focused on growth. I could care less, if a company's paying 100% yield. Now, obviously that's great, and obviously something's going on with SMCY because they're leading the way and they're paying a pretty massive yield. So might be something I need to look into. Not really a fan of hanging around SMCY right now with just all of the bad news and a lot of the uncertainties with that underlying. So if that matches your risk appetite, definitely go check that out. But just some thoughts, guys. Let me know what you guys think down below. Once again, we talked about today YieldMax's most recent distribution press release announcement, blah, blah, blah. Pretty much it's their Group D funds as well as a couple weekly pairs that they have. Some things coming soon for YieldMax, like we talked about. they have this SDTE fund, SDTY, and that is the S&P 500 0 DTE weekly pair. But they are coming out with two new ones, right? QDTY and RDTY, targeting the NASDAQ 100 and targeting the Russell 2000. So keep an eye out for that. Not sure when they're going to be releasing these new funds, but I imagine pretty soon. So yeah, that's it for today's video. Hope you got some value from it. Sorry it's a little bit longer than normal. If you're still here, I really appreciate you guys for sticking around. Please like and subscribe down below.